Let me begin this video review of this 2022 BMW iX by saying that it is exceptional, extraordinary, fantastic, and it isn't exactly redefining my expectations and hopes for the futures where electric vehicles are concerned, but it's damn near close to that. However, when I first came into visual contact with this specific press unit, the following scenario kind of popped into my head. I know a few people who have money, like actual money, not the kind of people that are house poor and have $3,000 in lease payments every month just to have a vehicle or a pair of vehicles to impress other parents when they drop the kids off at daycare or at school or whatever. I know people who have, their houses are paid off, they're my age and they have a few cars, but they're more into subtle things. And interestingly, I've had a few conversations. I mean, now we're into summer almost, and a few of them are looking to buy a new vehicle. And say, contrary to say the older people, they're more open-minded with EVs. And you always make a short list of what's possible and what's out there, what's available. And this was on the short list because many pictures that I had seen, it looks special, it looks different. And for the most part, these people with actual money who probably prefer things that are a little bit more subtle, a little bit more under the radar, but are still very posh and luxurious, are not into this at all. And it's really kind of funny because everything other than perhaps the styling of the iX is, I kind of prefaced the video by saying this, it's extraordinary. The performance, the drive, the luxury. This thing is far from perfect. Obviously, I don't know of a perfect vehicle, except perhaps maybe for my Golf Sport Wagon, my Civic Type R. I might be biased saying that, but this thing is such it's a showpiece. There you go. That's what it is. And it, as far as being showy, this specific press unit hits all the right buttons. Except possibly for one. I'll tell you right now, this is an xDrive50. It's on an M60. Now that one will be something else completely, at least I think. Anyhow, as we go ahead with this video, we'll do a walk around. I'll have a ton of things to say, but you'll see with your own eyes that things are kind of interesting with the new iX. And then we're gonna go shred some 22-inch tires because that's what this thing does. And again, this is only the 50, it's not the M60. So here we go. Yeah, there it is. The iX is something of an acquired taste visually. And the culprit is definitely the oversized kidney grille, and with the front license plate holder smack in the middle of it like that, it just really doesn't help. But if you shrink, say, the grille to a more normal size, it can't even be done like that. This is a very handsome front end, very business and purposeful. And as I walk around, and I don't know if it's the air or the water where I live, but this is it's an unconventionally styled SUV. It's an SUV, obviously, but like I said, the water, the air, because I see kind of an overgrown i3. And to try and explain that, if you look carefully, there are no flat surfaces or nearly on this SUV. The only flat part is over the wheels, because look, even the doors are rounded out. You can see kind of the light reflecting. There isn't really a flat surface on this. There's a reason for all of that. The coefficient of drag on this SUV is 0.25, which makes it extremely slippery. Not on the road, but in the air. Anyway, but the rear end on this thing is so boss, is so business. Those taillights are insane. They're so narrow and angry but determined. it's a real mix between wow and maybe a little too much. And here, okay, so the color is called Aventurine Red Metallic, okay? And what you're looking at, what makes it kind of cool and less cool, is a titanium bronze like accent package. You see that? That's not satin chrome, it's bronzed, and it actually carries on the inside. Yeah, you can see that right there around the vent. And this thing has the optional 22-inch tires and wheels. I don't know, I'm blown away by this spec. I mean, whoever put this together was a genius, but for the people that I was talking about, those with money, I mean, it's just a little too showy. So you don't have to take, obviously, a titanium package or this color. You should take this color, but maybe not take the titanium bronze package. Anyway, speaking of pricing, because that's what it's all about, in the US for the 2022 xDrive50 starts at $83,200. In Canada, it's $89,990. 2023 pricing for the xDrive40 and the M60 is already available. In Canada, $79,990 for the 40, and a whopping $120,750 for the M60. Now, my tester, I just mentioned a few options, is loaded. Basically, as standard, you get a 12.3-inch digital display matched beautifully with a 14.9-inch curved touchscreen display. I'll show that to you in a few moments. iDrive 8. It's just absolutely loaded. This thing's got the sport package, the premium enhanced package with soft closed doors, heads-up display, Bowers & Wilkins audio, so on and so forth, for a grand total of $117,690. That's a lot of money, but this is a lot of SUV. I mean, I'm finding problems with the design. I mean, you probably have made up your mind now and saying it's gorgeous, it's sick, it's crazy, Matt's, ill somehow, which is very possible. Okay, so here's a weird thing, though. Okay, you see how the cutout for the hatch goes all the way around and includes the taillights? This kind of reminds me of the first generation Q7, where, yeah, that's kind of neat. And when the lights are on, this actually lights up, so, as a safety feature. But it's kind of messes with you a little bit, because the opening is nowhere near as wide as the hatch. And this is the thing. I found 35.5 cubic feet of trunk space, which works up to a little over 1,000 liters, and that's a big no-no. And I've also found about 500 liters of trunk space, which makes a lot more sense. Basically, given the overall size of this SUV, this is a fairly small trunk, 500 liters. Finish is lovely, obviously. And there is your cable, so that can serve as storage. I wonder what's hidden in there, huh? A lot of things, because this is wide, it's huge. The suspension, perhaps, other stuff. All right, obviously power hatch. Okay, power hatch. This has happened before. There we go. Okay, this thing is actually quite big on the inside. And yeah, so the handle, I'm gonna show you, it's just a button on the inside here. Frameless doors, which are fantastic. Attention to detail, a la BMW, as you'd expect. The rear seat in this thing, this is also an option. The material and the color on the inside. The rear seat, you see this, how pillowy that is? It's so comfortable. I mean, I almost wish, anyway, but you couldn't sit you can't sit another adult back there, but anyway, lots of comfort, plenty of space. Look at the amount of leg room. It's huge. And the console here, because it's open under it, it's just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Twin USB-C ports in the seat back, and there's even like a little slot for an adapter for a screen. It's just fantastic. All right, so you've seen soft closed doors, what they do. This thing, it's beautiful and simple, so very German. I mean, the materials are gorgeous. I love the flat controls. It's just fantastic. And here's another option too, like that interior glass pack with, and we'll just skip right to it, the walnut pad here, kind of insert with the glass controls. The problem with this right here is that during the day, you can see that they light up, but during the day, you can't see anything. It's just so uniform, you can barely use it. Anyway, so I'm just gonna slide in. Okay, well, just before, look, storage, everything is thought out. So open down here. It's superb. Now, here's the door handle. Okay. So, and it's a little awkward to grab. I mean, my hands are not that big, right? But they're still, I'd say, average. It's a little bit far. Otherwise, there is a manual release down there in case things go wrong, which they might. You could. Let's just start her up. And the glass buttons are beautiful. Admittedly, it's just superb. Not quite as superb as this curved, massive screen. It's so beautiful. I mean, while I'm here, the sight lines are insane. I feel like I'm driving a bus. And visibility is fabulous, but I'm sitting at the lowest possible position, and there's so much windscreen ahead of me. Visibility is fantastic, but anyway, it just seems so weird. See how all open all of this surface is? Bowers and Wilkins, yes. Okay, what else do I want to tell you? Okay, so the menus, like the i4 and the BMW, I mean, there's just so much going on, and the screen is very responsive, thankfully. So, you know, drive settings, I'm just going straight through. This is for the energy recovery or regen braking, program your charging, all your driver assistance business is there. Wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, it's superb, and the audio sound is beautiful. What more can you possibly want? The steering wheel, yes, the steering wheel, look at this thing. It's nuts. It's completely insane. It doesn't feel right like in this bus that I'm driving, but it's very eventful. Let's put it that way. Okay, so like B for max regen, back into drive, reverse, and then park is, where's park? I can't see through the phone. I can't. There it is. All right. Okay. What else do you need to know? Drive mode, suspension settings. I think I've said way too much. I mean, look at this. It's clean. There's nothing going on here. So everything happens through the screen, or nearly, unless you need defrost or your hazards. Let's go. That's it. Drive time. Okay, so look, every iX is absolutely loaded, at least for 2022 when it comes to the xDrive50. Sorry, xDrive50. My apologies. Which means a dual motor configuration. Which with the 111.5 kilowatt hour battery does a bunch of things. One being give you an estimated 521 kilometers of range. And look, it's nice outside. It's fairly warm. We're in the low 70s Fahrenheit, or about 18-19 degrees Celsius. And I've had this thing for 5 days. I've put about 230 kilometers on it, give or take. I haven't charged it at all yet. I still have 55% of range left, or 297 kilometers. That's pretty damn amazing. As far as any EVs that I've driven, I mean, yes, these conditions are ideal. So yes, in the winter you can knock 20% easy off the range. But I mean, right now, in these real world conditions, I'm blown away by how impressively efficient this SUV is. It's just unbelievable. Stop traffic light. Anyway, so this is giving me an opportunity to, well, not show you, but tell you that this thing has, well, under the floor, not the bonnet, 516 horsepower and 64 pound-feet of torque available at all times, give or take, which means that this thing will just take off from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in only 4.6 seconds. Washer fluid level low. Thank you very much. It's an absolute rocket. I mean, it shares a lot with the i4 M50 that I recently drove. It doesn't feel quite as punchy fast as the i4, but this is a far larger, slightly heavier SUV. But my goodness, does it ever rip. And if memory serves, which sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, the M60 has something like 811 pound-feet of torque. Ay, is all I can say to that. I've been doing all of my driving via the drive modes, and just everything's in normal, standard, and it still rips unbelievable. And in most of my driving that I've been doing, I've just left it in B. Even for short jaunts on the highway, I mean, I'm just getting used to it. The one pedal driving is just, it becomes addictive. People can complain that some automakers don't offer it because it's not necessarily not needed, but that's because they just don't have it or haven't fully experienced it over, a number of days or a few hundred kilometers. As I once again sit at a stoplight, traffic light, steering is superb. It's still really heavy, but it fits with this craziness right in front of me. Brake pedal feels quite nice, very responsive. There's a lot of weight behind all the controls, which is wonderfully, I don't know, it's rewarding, it's satisfying. And that's, oh yeah, charging, 111.5, that's gross. I forget what it is net, 103 or something like that. But this thing is capable of 195 kilowatt charging speeds, which means that on a 150 kilowatt charger, you're getting 100 kilometers of range every 9 minutes, and on a 50 kilowatt charger, you're getting 100 kilometers of range every 20 or 21 minutes. So that's still very reasonable, and it just works. I haven't tested it yet because I'm just enjoying the range, as will most, if not all, owners. I mean, there's no need to plug it in every time, the battery drops below 60%. You still have tons of range and an incredible amount of performance. I know the packaging visually, it was purposefully done or designed this way to stand out, to be different, and I can absolutely appreciate that. But that crowd that might be a little bit more interested in, oh yeah, integral active steering, four-wheel steering in this thing, series, standard. Almost forgot about that. I mean, it makes it just so maneuverable and manageable. It's fantastic. Yes. For $90,000 minus the soft closed doors and Bowers and Wilkins audio, it's nowhere near being a bargain, but you feel like you're getting so much for the money. Yeah, the design, whatever. It looks a little bit better than a Urus. Yeah, actually, it does look a little bit better than Urus. So many things said again, but I absolutely enjoy this SUV. And thank you for watching.